Oforiatta is my first guest in the studio. He is board chairman for the National Theatre. Nana Fridia, good morning.
Good morning. You're invited to a showing of a new production by the National Theatre called Efu Ponko.
Efu
Ponko.
Efu Ponko.
Yeah.
Okay. When is it?
It's come from a song by Bob Coe.
Okay.
You remember Bob Coe, famous old man? He passed away.
Bob Coe.
Yeah. And this is August 25th.
Okay. August 25th.
Yes.
Okay.
When you come, dish out small ticket money and then you can enter free.
We'll go and prepare. Nana Fridia, thank you very much.
I think that the member of parliament present in the studio can pay for about 10 people, right?
Oh, he surely can. He surely can.
So I'll send you that and then you send it to
Yes, he surely can. And the honorable member of parliament, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
the theatre.
You guys, you've been collecting a lot of money, yet we've not been able to establish one at any rate.
Don't overstate your
anyway,
position,
let's not.
Then I'll start judging you too.
I'll lobby you
let's
to.
Let's not get carried away.
Let him bring Sisala West.
He will bring some. You bring some.
Yes,
You pay for them.
I'll bring them
There are
when
some
you bring
Sisala West
National
constituents who are
Theatre
in Accra, so he will pay
He
for
doesn't
them.
have to even come.
Yes, you pay for them. But anyway, let's get into it. Honorable Supari, you talked about waiting for 2024 across the country in all 16 regions, and they asked them a number of questions. So it's because of the recent coup in Niger and the military intervention, which is possible, if dialogue fails with regard to the military junta and ECOWAS, right? So 52% of Ghanaians don't want soldiers. Do you support Ghana in taking part in such military action in Niger? 38% of the respondents said yes. 52% of the respondents said no. And then 10% of the respondents had no opinion in those countries. A whopping 76% of the respondents said yes, and 7% said they had no opinion on that. And then this is what struck me, and that's what I'm worried about. The question was asked, do you believe that military coups are a durable solution to bad governance in Africa? So in essence, asking whether people believe that if there's bad governance, a coup is a solution. Now, 49% of the respondents said yes. 43% of the respondents said no, and 8% had no opinion. This is what jumped at me. So in the minds of the Ghanaians who were sampled across the 16 regions, have believed that if there is bad governance, a coup would be better. The bad governance situation. What are your thoughts on this?
Good morning to your cherished viewers out there, most especially the people of Sisala West. Lantam, I on any day do not support coup, regardless the kind of governance. I don't support coup. Not at all. I think that there are other ways of registering. It has happened. There are two things here. Supporting it happen, and when it happened, what do we do? And so we are discussing two things here. I do not support it for it to happen, regardless the kind of governance that we are experiencing. Mm-hmm. And like you rightly said, we have experienced about 4 doing the right thing. If you are not doing the right thing, you better sit up and start doing the right thing. Mm. Many of these things that we are talking about is as a result of hardship. And so even if you are today, if you, Lantam, are the managing director of this particular organization that we are, and the people down there are facing challenges, for them, they don't have any other person to blame. It's up to you. And so you must at all times pay attention to the pertinent issues. There's a coup in Niger. And this particular coup, I said I don't support coup, but it has happened. But it happens in a manner that not even a single life has been taken. And if you look at what is happening in Niger, it is like almost everybody in Niger, the people on the street, are happy. And they're celebrating the coup leaders. Now, ECOWAS is saying that they want to invade Niger, which our country is part. This is a country that is going through a lot of challenges. We are talking about basically government not able to finance any bigger infrastructure because day in, day out, we are told that we do not have money. We don't know where the money is. The youth on the street are roaming, looking for a job they are not getting. The vulnerable groups, the women, the market women can no longer go to do their businesses because the rate of the Asian rate is at a higher side. These are things government should pay attention and addressing. We have a conflict in Boku for several years. Just last week, Lantam, I'm sure you probably might have heard it. The MC of Boku came out and told the people of this country that since 2020,
they do that. It's a military junta. They are afraid.
They can't do it. Afraid of us. So now, so they are afraid.
Yes.
Now, ECOWAS want to send troops to Niger to go and do what?
To go and restore democratic
How do you restore
order? They have taken into account all of this, and what they are going to do is directed strictly at the military junta, and it's not a war.
Now, when you say directed,
Niger,
so what is your definition
of
of
military junta?
What is your definition
specifically?
of what is your definition of a war? I just asked you I'm saying that when they say it is directed at the military junta,
yes,
you are talking about the entire military.
Yes,
they are together.
Yes.
And now Burkina Faso is coming to support them. How do you differentiate Burkina?
Yeah. Mali also wants to support them.
You understand? So that is the war, because you are holding a bottle of water, and I'm coming to take the water from you, telling you that you are not my target. The water is my target. You are also protecting the water from me taking it away from you. So in the end, what will happen? There will be, certainly we will wrestle. There will be some struggle. But I'm saying that the people that will suffer are the people sharing borders with Burkina Faso. Today, go to Burkina Faso, go to Sala West. We do not even have enough police men to be able to patrol the area. And day in, day out, we've been seeing people coming into our country. There's no any designated waste of resources.
Okay.
And also going to call for something that we know we cannot, won't be able to handle it.
All right.
It is unnecessary for us to engage in this. We can't, day in, day we sit here and we complain that we do not have the money to develop our people.
All right.
We don't even have. I just cited Boku, and I cited an example what is currently happening at Sala West.
Okay.
Let us pay attention to our things that are confronting us and make sure that we continue to do things that will not also let our country get into a situation like that.
All right.
That is the best way to go.
All right. Nana Fredia, let me come to you now on all the coups.
A lot of
have cited bad governance, the democratically elected leaders, presidents.
Yeah, but when you go
all the military
when you go into their statements, they are more shallow than substantive. You will find out exactly what the causes are. So we must be very careful in doing so. As far as I'm concerned, I think that it's important. Let me raise, for example, the coup makers say that they want 3 years.
Yes. 3 years to return the country back to...
What are they going to do in 3 years? In 3 years? Why is it going to take 3 years? We should be interested in these things. What exactly is it that requires 3-year transition period? You should tell us. And we must be interested in those things, as opposed to probably saying, okay, in exchange for amnesty for our actions, we'll put in measures to make sure that you can appreciate and understand. So that's not even for me a surprise. And I'm not too bothered about it because that's what's expected. My truth is that if you ask me, I wouldn't want to send soldiers out as a person. Initially, yes, they were going to go in there and try and... That was the impression we got. But now there's clearly more talk of a peace mission.
Yeah, but they've stated clearly that the military option is still on the table.
Yes, it's even in the communique, so there's no doubt. Response was therefore a show that we were all right. Let's check it out. You might even be as
Yeah.
in 72, the coup that happened. You should go and check. You had people jump on the streets saying yes. One of the reasons was that Professor Buzia had decided that we needed to identify our people. There should be an identification process. In the process, some people had to leave town, and according to others, it was a negative. There are all kinds of things. Let's go and check the details of the cause of that and the effect. Yeah, 79. There was a coup. What was the effect of that? They shot people for going for loans. Those people who shot people for going for loans did worse when they took over office. You should go and check. 79, AFRC, Flight Lieutenant Rawlings and his cronies. Go and check. Then they came back in 81, 82 for 10 years. People don't know that in the time that they took office, we couldn't go to bed out on the streets at 6:05 in the evening or 5:45 in the morning. The house at 6. People's mothers were lashed naked in the streets. Naked in the streets. You'd be driving Lantam and they could stop you and take your car. The other day, there was a forum on Professor Efwa Sutherland. They're celebrating 50 years of Afram Publications. She founded that. And Professor Nido was telling a story of how he knew her. He was a student at the time, a student teacher, I think. And he was involved in a project to teach children to read and perform. He was stopped on the streets and his car taken. No reason. No reason. That's the kind of life we lived in Ghana. So when people are rushed to say that coups are a good idea, when you have the opportunity in our elections cycle of 4 years, you don't only just vote for governments, yeah, and sit back. You vote for governments and get involved. When President Akufo-Addo said be a citizen, not a spectator, he meant get involved in the governance of the country in the period until the next election. So if you find something wrong, for example, you were talking about the NAM1 situation, what you were doing was a citizen's job. Trying to hold government within the means that you can afford. And that's how it's done. And your effort, once you're sticking on with your guns and doing the thing the right way, will be a seed planted and something will get done. So we cannot be rushing this mentality mindset. So that we're more on the developmental trail. And yes, why? You don't have to support one government or the other all the time. It's about wanting the best for the country. So when these institutions are properly empowered and they do their job, the country becomes better aware of what our history is and where we've come from.
Okay.
And so we appreciate. If you find a 25-year-old person today, no knowledge whatsoever about the years before them, before their birth, you can understand when they make certain statements because nobody is teaching them about Solantam. Coup in this country, the effort must be to educate people on that it's not
the way to go.
It has never been the way to go.
All right.
Never.
All right. Very well.
If we tell you the consequences.
Very well. Let's Let's switch our attention from that, but still, you know.
By the way,
on
honorable member said that
with democracy.
Boko is not being dealt with. You had to correct him. I don't know why they like to do that.
Well, I understand why he will say that, because for the longest time, today Boko is a ghost town. Even Maslock has had to relocate from Boko, and they necessarily had to issue a statement to disabuse the minds of people that it's not because they don't want to give they don't want to serve the people of Boko, but because of the volatile situation there.
Right.
So for the longest time, the Boko conflict has been on, and seemingly effort after effort, still the situation persists. So then it gives a certain impression that nothing is being done. You know,
by who?
So I can understand where the honorable member of parliament is coming from.
But you see, London,
I can understand.
If you and I feel that way, we may not have all the information. But he's a member of parliament, though.
Yes.
How can he? It's good for you to listen to me. You're a member of parliament. How can he take a position like that? Because he has more information or access to more information than you and I.
Right. Honorable,
so it's important
just briefly.
Because when you do that,
just briefly.
When you actually do that, you fuel the thing.
No.
Just briefly respond to that in just about 2 minutes.
If you say that, I don't think you are being fair to me. I said that we have a situation at Boko where he rightly stated that even some institutions are moving out of the town because of the situation in Boko. Yet government think that, yes, we know, even successive this thing didn't just happen like 2-3 years ago. The fight has been there for several years. And I'm saying that government must take pragmatic.
Have you ever made a statement in parliament about
No,
it?
when you say, you see, these are...
I think the MP for Boko,
please.
I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you.
When you were talking, I was quiet and I listened to all what you were saying. So just allow me to respond.
I'm allowing you. What are you trying to do?
So MP for the area made in the people, a lead person. And so when he made a statement, all of us contributed to the statement. And he stated what ought to be done and what is not happening at Boko currently. And I'm saying that even though government has tried, but I think that it is still not enough. We should rather pay more or much attention on Boko situation than we taking our soldiers to. It was just an example because especially that
it's irrelevant.
When you say it's irrelevant, you think going to Niger is more relevant than
they are not the same case.
No, they are the same case.
No,
it's about protecting your people. And I'm telling you,
you have to buy fuel into your car. You have to make sure your child has money.
Honorable Suparu, Honorable Suparu, let me come to you now. Thank you very much. I think I've given you enough time to have this one out. So let's move.